Welcome, welcome, welcome into another exciting Hot Shot Secret YouTube Live with a special kick towards our Franz Filter line as well. I'm Josh Steinmetz, brand manager here at Hot Shot Secret, and I have with me a new face, Mike Meyer.
Hi, thanks, Josh. My name is Mike Meyer. I started here about 3 or 4 months ago with the company. My job is called it's bypass filtration specialist. So I took over kind of that whole area from building the kits to
Customer service,
a little bit of everything. So,
some product development as
Yep,
well.
yep.
So,
we're going to be making new stuff and just a little bit of everything out there, actually. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
glad to have you aboard, and I'm glad that we're able to start talking a bit more about it. Franz Filter, for those that don't know, was acquired by LSI about 6-7 years ago, and hadn't done a lot with it. We revived it, did some innovation, did some testing on it, and kind of sat for a while since. And now to have you on board to focus on it, great to have that going on. So we're going to focus on it today during this episode. So be sure if you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll be monitoring those. And even if it's after the show, put those in the comments. Chad here will be looking at those comments, replying to them. And if he can't answer them, Mike will.
Definitely. Absolutely.
And if we can't answer them between the two of us, well, there's enough of us here that'll figure it out.
We'll get back to you for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So as always, we were actually triple streaming today. We're on Hot Shot Secret YouTube, Facebook, and on Franz Filter on Facebook as well. Be sure to like and share this video and hit subscribe to get updates and everything going on. And also be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. All right. Now I've introduced you to everyone. Let's do a hot list.
Okay.
10 questions here real quick. Rapid fire.
Okay.
What do you do here at Hot Shot Secret?
Like I said a second ago there, bypass filtration specialist. That's my main job, I guess. I'm just dedicated to that only. From, like I said, customer service, number one, building the kits, looking for new ideas for the kits as well. What else we can build these for. We got some new ideas coming out. So it's going to be a learning curve a little bit, but it's going to be fun at the same time.
Where were you born?
Massillon, Ohio.
All right. Where did you grow up?
Massillon, Ohio.
Okay.
Yep.
What was your first job? We usually say first true paying job, right?
Paying job, okay. Worked at a recycling station in Jackson Township. Just basic labor.
Basic labor. Okay.
Yep.
I was gonna say, what were you doing there?
Yeah, basic labor. Just working there, just crushing cans or whatever with them, helping customers there, customer service. So,
First car.
1978 El Camino. It was very, very interesting, but it was. It got me around, so that's all that mattered.
I get that. You play sports growing up.
Half a year of football. That was it.
That was it.
Freshman football.
Okay.
Got hurt, and that was it. So,
What's your favorite hobby you do now?
ride dirt bikes. Still with my son. So it's just something I do and just enjoy doing it to this day. I've been used to race them years ago and still enjoy playing with them.
Excellent. Favorite holiday? I know this is a weird one.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's Thanksgiving. Just family time
Yep.
and good food.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people say Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all right, okay.
And so, yep,
Yep.
you're right on track. The family and food, those the two F's.
For sure.
Favorite beverage, and it can be adult here.
Boy, I can't turn down my beer, that's for sure.
And favorite TV show and movie.
TV shows, I just really like the sitcoms. The half-hour sitcoms are pretty good. And then movies, more of a thrill thing for me. I like the thrill movies.
Okay. I'm going to go bonus question.
Okay.
What was one of the favorite cars or trucks you've ever owned or have owned, or even you can tell me what you would dream to have if it hasn't happened yet.
I mean, one of my favorite cars, I mean, back in the day was still like the 70s, the 68 Chevelle, something like that, or the old Novas. Those are still one of my favorites. I don't know why those are, but I do like the muscle cars for sure.
Classic muscle car.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong
exactly.
with
Yeah,
that.
I
And
don't have
you
one,
definitely
but-
grew up during the classic
Yes,
muscle car
exactly.
era. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
El
like
Camino
those.
was no.
No, that's true. Yeah, I just it really wasn't. I've seen some people do those, but unfortunately, yeah. So No, I enjoyed it too. I love building engines and rebuilding engines, building stuff. So that's my whole hobby.
I know you really enjoy that, so that's
Yeah,
why
exactly,
I went
yeah,
with
for
the
sure.
bonus
Yeah,
question
for
about
sure.
the car.
For sure.
So let's jump into bypass filtration. Can you kind of explain what it is, why we might do it, some of those things?
Okay. Bypass filtration system. It's going to be an additional filter onto your regular engine, besides your OEM filter. The OEM filter is going to micron down about to 8 microns. The bypass filtration system is going to actually take about 10% of the oil and it's going to pull it down about to 2 microns. It's going to filter it and it's going to refine it back to almost brand new oil as it pumps it back through the system again.
Yeah, essentially it's analytically clean again. So
Yes.
if you go to the Franz Filter website, there's actually a lab report on there where we took virgin oil,
Right.
had to do a particle count test on it, actually had it run through a Franz Filter, and then it's actually had less particle counts in it
Than brand new oil.
than brand new oil.
Yes, correct,
So it's
yeah.
actually cleaner than brand new oil
for sure.
from an analytic standpoint.
And one of the biggest things on the filters too is where it can save the oil changes, so you don't have to change your oil so often. Especially when you get in some of these diesel trucks and stuff, they take so much oil. You're not changing it so often. You just have to check it every now and then for the base number, and then go from there at that point.
Yeah, so some of the advantages of a bypass filtration, you might say, is very clean oil all the time in the engine.
Yep.
We're also going to look at reducing maintenance costs and time by doing extended oil change intervals. And we can do that because we have some very good oils now today that will
sure,
stand
yes.
up to that. So we're talking about, from the Hot Shot Secret side, the Blue Diamond oil in particular, because of being a PAO base oil. A PAO doesn't break down in shear like traditional synthetic or mineral-based oils over time. So we really, by using a bypass filter, we can run the oil as long as we really want to by doing monitoring of it with the oil analysis. And what we're going to do is we're going to check for the cleanness. So just make sure that the bypass filter is doing its job and there's not too much extra fine particles in there. Oil's still a little black after coming off bypass filter, but that's the soot, especially in diesel applications.
Yeah, for sure in diesel. Exactly.
And then we're going to check the TBN number, the base number, which we actually have TBN Booster,
Yep.
which is a very unique product to the market. No one else really offers to bring that number back up so we can, again, extend that oil change interval longer than most other people can. And then, we're just looking at, and we're keeping it in grades, the other thing too, by using a high quality
Oil,
base
for
oil to start out with.
Yeah.
So if you do those things, you can really extend oil change intervals. Do you have to use our oil with it? Absolutely not.
No, correct.
But
It's still going to do the same thing.
it's still going to do the same thing. But if it's not a PAO, it's going to break down quicker.
quicker for sure.
Yep.
For sure. It also keeps the engine a little cooler, running a little cooler, keeping that oil more clean. So that's a huge feature.
It's got a little extra capacity
Yeah,
too,
for
which
sure.
which is nice for really longevity of the oil change and, like you mentioned, the coolness.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, like you said, maybe go in a little bit about how we. So you talked about drawing 10% of the oil off. So how do we normally do that, and or some options to doing that?
I guess I would go into installation as well in the same
Yeah.
category. Our systems are fairly easy to install. Most of them will require you to put a new oil filter on, so we do recommend doing an oil change when you install one of these. Once you remove the oil filter, usually an oil filter adapter, or you're going to hit the high pressure side of the engine. It's going to take about a 1/4 inch line, and it's going to run it up to the filter, through the filter, and then it's going to dump it back into the oil fill cap once it filters through the system. So it's a very unique system, very easy to install. We are trying to assemble more of them on our end here before the consumer gets it, make it a little bit easier for them, a little bit less time for them. But very, very simple to install though for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean, your basic,
We're making it very easy for you.
for sure.
And then it mounts. There's going to be some preferred locations to put it, but pretty much anywhere. The nice part about this unit is you can turn it upside down, sideways, whatever
Correct.
way you really want to install it that makes it easiest for you to either get it in your vehicle or be able to do maintenance on it or
Right.
or whatever. We do have some high capacity magnets too to help install it on. We do recommend some sort of secondary containment,
tires,
zip ties
right,
or something, just to make sure
Right.
that if you did hit a huge chuck hole in the road, that you're not gonna
Lose it.
lose
correct,
it,
right.
because it is the pressure side of
Yeah.
eventually of your oil on your engine.
Keep in mind when you do mount that, if you have any customers, I usually try to mount them pretty much like that because when you take that filter out, it is going to lose a lot of oil from the filter itself if you go to replace that filter. So, but even with the brackets, you can spin it around fairly easy if you have to get it out there. So it's
Right.
kind of nice for that there.
Perfect. And let's talk a little bit about the filtration itself, so how it actually filters it. So there's actually two types of media available. We have our cellulose, which is a paper-based traditional filter. This is what was around when Franz was first made. Franz filter is actually a very old brand. It's been around since the
50s?
50s.
40s or 50s, yes.
Yes.
Correct, yep.
And we get a lot of customers call say, I bought something with this on. I would like to get a new filter, learn a bit more about it,
Right.
and
for sure.
so, a lot of information there that we go through with people, help out with. But you got the cellulose, which is great. It goes down to 2 microns, like you said, or we also have a synthetic based as well.
Correct.
And there's advantages and disadvantages each one. The biggest thing with the cellulose is it captures moisture in there. So as your oil gets some moisture in it, the paper allows it to absorb in. Whereas cellulose, it will go, synthetic.
Synthetic, correct. Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
It lasts twice as long because the media will hold up to the pressure of the oil going through it. It doesn't break down nearly as quick. It's got a little more capacity to it as well, as far as the actual filter media will actually capture some more stuff, so
Yeah.
we get about twice the life out of it. What do you recommend for changing the media out at?
As far as the filter itself,
Yeah,
once the system's installed, I always just tell the people, I mean, if you're touching the can as your engine's running and your can's like a lukewarm, it's still getting the filter. The oil's going through the filter at that point. If the can's cold, either the filter's plugged or you're having another issue there. Most likely it's going to be the filter itself that is changed. So we do sell those separate. But just every now and then check for leaks on them. And number two, make sure that can is staying warm at all times.
yeah. We recommend really going no longer than like
So I was gonna say
7,000
6 or
miles,
7,000.
and then we say it's about double the life on the synthetic one.
Synthetic one, correct.
So,
Yep. About 10, 12,
So,
yep.
if you're, one thing we should point out is you still change your regular OEM filter on schedule
Yep.
because it gets, again, the bigger particles like you talked about.
Right.
And we don't want it in bypass mode the entire time because it'll be clogging this filter up and actually not doing a good job
Right.
to the rest of your engine. This will catch it, but not as quick
yeah.
as catching it with the regular OEM
Yeah.
spin-on filter.
You're only getting a small percentage of this one here compared to your regular filter.
Right.
It will eventually I'll go through that filter, but it's only going to be a small percentage.
Only
at a time.
at a time, exactly.
exactly.
And
Yep.
and really, that's the whole idea on being a bypass. We're bypassing outside the irregular system. We go, why can't I just put this on in place of my OEM?
Fit, no.
Not enough oil flow.
Not enough oil pressure. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Not enough oil pressure.
Can't keep enough oil pressure and flow
Yeah,
going on.
for sure. Yeah.
So
It's very minimal pressure going
Yeah.
through there, but
I mean, nice part is a very simple design overall. You got this cast base unit here. Oil comes in through the center, up the top, works its way down. And this filter here, it's a wound. Everyone goes, that's toilet paper, right? It's not exactly.
well,
Over time, toilet paper's actually changed quite a bit, and it wasn't wound as tight. So we actually have these wound to our specs to get it tight and get the right diameter as well.
right. Okay.
If you try to replace this with a Scott 1000 roll, today's rolls don't fit on into the unit the way they used to.
Right,
So,
sure. We
and
have
it
some
doesn't have
customers
any
who do that.
cuts in it either. So that's the other
Yeah.
advantage to it as well. So we get a little better filtration that way. And it's really economical still to change. Even when you buy the filter from us, it's
$4.99 for the filter.
That's what I
think,
thought.
and I think it's $9.99 for the synthetic.
I think
Correct,
so.
yep,
I think
yep.
you're correct. I almost wanted to quote, and wasn't going to because I don't buy them often
Right,
enough in the
exactly.
system.
Yeah. Right.
But literally, like I said, oil comes up through the top here, and then it's got to work its way back down through the pleats, the filter itself, into a screen area here, and then back out to the engine.
Correct.
So, like I said, real simple. And then there's actually a ring in here to help pull out the actual filter itself when you're going to change that out. Put it all back together. An O-ring down here that we recommend you change every time you open up the canister, just because we know that it's going to wear out over time, and then a clamp as well. So
all those parts are available on our website as well. You can purchase all these separate.
Yep.
Some of the older canisters like that, the universal rubber O-ring at the bottom is not. It will not cross over to the newer style here. But in that case, here we just recommend getting like a rubber O-ring from a hardware store.
Yep. Perfect. Good information to know on that as well. So really in review, we've covered so far how it works, basics of installing it,
Right.
some of the advantages of it. Let's see here.
We do offer quite a few kits out there. I think we have 6 or 7 kits out there right now. Mm-hmm. And I have another one coming out here shortly for the gas engines. It's diesel or gas engines. If you have a vehicle we don't offer one for, don't hesitate to give us a call up here. Ask for me, myself, Mike, or send me an email, one of the two. And once I know your vehicle and the engine size, I should be able to cross something over to make a kit for it. We might just have to buy a couple extra parts for you, but I'm sure we can make something work for you.
Yeah, the nice part is the way our filter rings work. You just keep going to different sizes of things.
Yeah.
The only thing that sometimes is difficult might be if the thread on the actual inside of the filter.
Right.
But we have quite a bit of
We have
assortment
7
of
of
those.
those. Yeah, we have 7
So
of those too,
feel confident we have
Yeah.
stuff for most
Exactly.
applications.
For sure.
You know, we get a need, demand, we'll find some more.
Yeah.
Always can even possibly work with a machine shop to get something built too, if
Right.
need be, if you got the
Or
application.
even
And,
some of our kits don't even use that oil filter adapter. Just as long as you can find a port, like your oil temperature sensor.
yeah.
Usually you put a T-fitting on there, just so a line can pick up from there is the only thing you need.
The Cummins engine's that way.
Yeah,
It's right
correct,
on the
exactly.
oil filter
Yep.
itself. It's real,
Right above it. Yep.
Right above it. Yep,
Exactly.
on the casting.
sure.
And it's a really nice place to do that at as well. For sure. Yeah. So you mentioned gas. You know,
Gas or diesel
or
engines,
diesel.
right.
The other thing is we actually sell to a generator manufacturer here too.
Yes.
Direct. So you know, things like that. So you can't. It's not just limited to cars and trucks. I guess I will say there's one limitation is capacity. After about 20 quarts, this isn't enough filter capacity.
Correct, right.
So,
Very good point.
and then so from there, we actually offered another line. We sell a Harvard brand filter as well.
Yep.
And if you have interest in that, be happy to talk to you about that as well.
Correct. I mean, I can send anyone information on that as well. That's on our website as well too. There's going to be some more pictures we're getting on the website for that as well.
So any smaller applications we can cover with this easily. We actually have a half size one as well that we
Yep.
can, if you have a tight requirement, we can
that.
customize a kit for you as well.
We're trying to do some stuff with maybe like smaller engines, like compacts, stuff like that, or tractors sometimes. Just something for less maintenance for these people with those minis as well, as I work call them minis. Those will be coming out here very shortly as well.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Anything else that we forgot to talk about or you'd like to add about the filters?
Like the packaging, I mean, we changed the packaging a little bit the past couple months to where it's a little bit, like I said, we're assembling a lot more of it, so it's not just a big pile of fittings for it. So
Yeah.
I'm doing all the thread sealing and everything when we're assembling it now, so it should be a lot easier for the customer. That's what our whole goal is there, to make it easier.
Absolutely.
for sure,
That's good. That's
Yep.
awesome. That'll be,
Yep.
I know a welcome change for,
Yeah.
if you buy a
Yeah.
box of parts essentially.
Right.
That's no fun. So
Yeah.
that's nice that we're able to do that for people. And I'm glad you're on board. I want to welcome you here officially
yes.
on here. And
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here for sure.
I'm happy to have you here as well because it's one less thing on my plate
Yeah,
too.
for sure. For sure.
It was a lot of people, would work on it together,
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
to have someone dedicated to
Right,
it,
right.
look forward to a lot of innovation and
Yep.
look forward on our website for a new kit launching here for gas.
Gas,
Well, we can tell them what it is. It's for a 5.7 Hemi.
Yep. 5.7, I mean.
So,
Yes, yep.
and also quite other few Chrysler, Fiat, Dodge, Jeep, Ram
Yeah,
applications as well.
right,
So
yeah.
we'll have a full list on the website.
Yeah, for sure.
When
yeah.
we
Yeah,
launch it.
like I said, that's the biggest thing where people think it's diesels only. That's not the case.
It's not.
It
We
can be
really
gas.
specialized it here with diesel because of our expertise.
Right.
But we again continue to grow out our product line and grow out things that customers need and want. And with these tighter specs and these engines, more efficient new engines, having good clean oil is going to help
Right.
with the longevity
Absolutely,
of
definitely,
things.
for sure. For sure.
Do have a question here. Is EDT good for lubricity? Over on Facebook, Mr. Glock 23. You bet you is right. So EDT from the get-go has always had lubricity additive in it. So is our Diesel Extreme. We took it a step further a couple of years ago when we developed our LX4 lubricity only additive. We actually added it back into EDT. Didn't change the cost of it.
Okay.
We just added it to the formula because we knew it was needed, especially with ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. So again, taking care of that problem for you. So yes, EDT increases lubricity. I believe it's 28% what we've been seeing in a couple of our tests. So that's a kind of our baseline. We say up to 28% because it does depend on the diesel fuel itself is how much lubricity you raise it.
Okay.
But what we do with even our 1 ounce per 25 gallon treat rate will bring the lubricity of diesel that's at 600. So we look at unadditized fuel. So say you got some fuel from the station that never went through the fuel jobber and got any additives added to it.
Okay.
That would be on the very dry side. The spec for the US is 520. That's where it's supposed to be when you get it at the pump. But we took fuel at 600. We can bring it down below 460. I believe it got down to about a 420-ish range.
Okay.
And we're in that safe zone for lubricity because in Europe, the diesel fuel spec is 460.
Okay.
So we got it down below that European standard, and the CP4 pump fails 1% in Europe, 7 to 10% in the US.
Oh, wow. Oh, gee.
One of the main causes and the difference is lack of lubricity in the fuel.
Wow. Okay.
So, yep. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Glock 23. I like that name.
That is nice.
Time for some dealer shout outs. Got Top Secret Diesel Performance and Repair. Is it a secret where they're at? In Andrew, Indiana. And then Southern Diesel Supply out of Mount Dora, Florida. Welcome aboard, new dealers. Glad to have you a part of the team here at Hot Shot Secret. If you live in those areas, check those guys out. Grab some Hot Shot Secret products. Our dealers are very unique. They have access to our entire product line. You know, yeah, we're in a lot of big box stores and so forth, but you got it. They're there to serve you locally. You can order Franz Filter through them.
If they want to become a dealer for Franz Filter too, we can work with you guys on that as well. So,
They can install it potentially for you as well. So
Absolutely.
all that good stuff there.
for sure.
All right, and then we got some TV coming up this weekend. It looks like. So got a Truck U episode this Saturday at 1 p.m. and 3 episodes of Two Guys Garage this weekend, Saturday at 1:30 and then Sunday at 9 and 9:30. So check out
Nice.
them over on Motor Trend and check your local listings on their website. So Truck U and Two Guys Garage this weekend, 4 episodes. Events. Huh. I heard there was a major truck and tractor pull going on this weekend. There is. So Matt and Kyle are up at Wisconsin, at Toma, Wisconsin, that is, for the NTPA Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. It's 5 sessions of polling starting tonight. Yeah, it is Thursday, right?
Yep, Thursday. Yep.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you can catch the action over on fullpull.tv as well if you're not in person. But Kyle and Matt will be there with the booth. Check them out. Got show specials and, of course, EDT samples. Also, this weekend is the Stone Jug Championship Bracket Series over with the guys at Staging Light. We're happy to sponsor that over at Keystone Raceway in Pennsylvania. And we have also this weekend the Cecil County Modern Street Hemi Shootout. That's a tongue twister. Thank you, Chad, for giving me that one. At Cecil County Dragway. Proud to be a sponsor and supporter of that series as well, the Modern Street Hemi Shootout series. All right. And finally, last but not least, we'd like to remind you to catch the Steve Summers Overnight Drive over on Rumble, Facebook, and also many podcasting, including YouTube podcast as well as a new addition. So check that out. And always got the app as well. So download that app. Steve's on Monday through Friday from midnight to 5 a.m. Eastern. Thank you. I'm glad you worked here long enough to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, let's go into I've got a couple before I go on. I got a couple more messages here. Mr. Glock wants to know, can you put in a little too much EDT in the fuel? Is that okay? So it is. We actually do torture testing, essentially. You put 10 times more in than you're supposed to.
Okay.
No hurt. Only thing that's going to hurt your wallet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's okay. Now, we do recommend they putting in what we say because we treat very much up to the limits of seeing benefits. Now, some people may see a little benefit by going a touch more or a touch less, depending on how their system, the fuel they're using, where they get fuel at. It's all a moving game. So, definitely want to test things out, but you put a little bit more in, not going to hurt anything. Wintertime, you can actually put in too much anti-gel because the actual anti-gel formula itself will actually work in reverse when there's too much, essentially, at some point. It'll actually gel up quicker.
Quicker, okay.
Well, it's not as effective, and
Right,
it can start
right,
anyway.
okay.
So, got that as well. So, just, but it doesn't mean a little's good, a lot's better at the same time.
okay,
So,
okay.
kind of our general disclaimer, you might say.
right.
And then Greg Temple, one of our sponsored drivers, is on as well. He reminded me of NTPAs at Fremont Raceway up in Michigan as well this weekend. I believe there's a couple other regional events as well, but those are the big. We're just attending the one over there in Toma this weekend. And a shout out to Diesel Don, the Godfather. Thanks for tuning in, John or Don. Jeez. And then finally, some sales we got going on. Over at O'Reilly Auto Parts right now, got a great deal. Save $4 on FR3 friction reducer, and that's in the 16-ounce size. We also have saved $4 on the EDT as well. And both of those have 3 times O'Reilly O Rewards member points as well. So great special
Nice.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, stock up on it. Take advantage of that special.
That's through the 25th, huh?
Yes, through the 25th. And then over at Pilot Flying J, you buy 2 64-ounce diesel extremes and get 1,000 My Rewards Plus points for all those professional drivers over there as well. And one other special for our professional drivers over at Love's. Buy 2 of the Stiction Eliminator and get 2,000 points of the Love's Rewards points. So
Nice. And that's
some
all
nice
30th.
offers as well. Yeah, and both those go through the 30th. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to add to what we talked about? Anything else you could think about?
Like I said, if you guys have any questions or even ideas, I guess, on what we can do better on our end or what we can come out with for other units or engines or whatever, don't hesitate to contact me. I mean, I'd love hearing from the customer. I'm definitely customer based for sure. So whatever I can do to help you guys, just let me know.
Yeah. I actually got one thing I'll also throw on here. Franz filter is an investment, but it's one you can take with you to your next vehicle.
Very good point.
So with the universal parts that we have available, a lot of things can either move if you stay in the same product family. Sometimes some things change, and so we might have to change a part here or there. But it's a small investment to get over to another vehicle in the future. So I've heard people guys, well, I only drive it, a couple years, I trade them in.
Right.
You can still do it and
Sure.
and take the investment with you.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of, we occasionally get call-ins for that stuff
Oh,
too.
yeah,
I don't
most
know if you ran across
Oh,
it
yeah,
yet.
most definitely, yeah. I'm on a lot of parts. And we're actually trying to update the website as well on where all these parts will be available separate. There's parts breakdowns on the website now as well, so that you can look up each part number you need to.
You're doing a great job keeping it moving forward and, really cleaning up some things too, to
Yeah.
be quite honest. So
Yeah.
appreciate all
Thank you,
your
appreciate it.
efforts.
Thank you.
That is all for this episode of Hot Shot Secret Live. See you guys next time.
Thank you.